Do you know what video I get asked to make all the time? And no, it's not a what if, it's how to make thumbnails. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. So, you want to come over here and you want to type in canva.com. Very free website, and it will help you make thumbnails, and I will show you the full tutorial. It's very simple, it's free to use. All you have to do is sign in. And no, this video is not sponsored by Canva. Create a design, and you want to type in YouTube thumbnail. And once you type in YouTube thumbnail, the YouTube option will pop up for you. You can also make channel art, YouTube logo, ad display, all this. Canva is very helpful with all this stuff. You want to go to your design, and now you have an empty canvas where you can make the work happen. Now, a lot of you ask, where do you guys get the renders? deviantart.com. I will leave the link in the description. It's a specific person, MaxUGA22, I think that's how you pronounce his name. You can find all of the renders on here. He has folders for Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Movies, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball GT, and other stuff, as well as heroes. And he also has the backgrounds for you to use. If you're not satisfied with the backgrounds, you can come over here and you can type in Dragon Ball backgrounds like you would, Dragon Ball backgrounds, as I have done in the past. And you can find some more options here. So yeah, you always have that option on you. Now, once you're in Canva and you have your renders, you know what thumbnail you're making, you know what video you have to do, you come over here to upload, and you can upload the media. As you can see, my media is very full of renders and thumbnails and backgrounds and stuff of that sort. So yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to insert your background, your renders, all the above into this. So for this, I'll just use the Cell Saga as an example. Now, there's three types of thumbnails people make in the what if community. Nowadays, the most recent thing is no text thumbnails. They include the part number, or they don't have any text at all. So they don't include the title of the video, being like, what if Goku was born with God teeth? They won't include that. The other one is including the text. So having a simple thumbnail with the renders, part number, and text at the top. This is like a Salad Sand type video thumbnail, or what I used to do in the past. Third option is more like an old Carthus Dojo video, where they have the black on the side, on either side, whatever you prefer, and having the title and the part number on that, and then having a couple renders on either side. Now, what I'm going to show you is all of them, I hope, in this video, and so we're going to go with the no text ones first. So for the no text ones, you want to have a background, obviously, and you want to have a couple renders. So I'm just going to use Goku for all my examples right now. Let's say Goku is my main focus of this video. I'll put like a Goku render here. And then just wanted to look at him on the side. It's like a manga render. You can find these renders all around. Just search for them and search PNG right next to them. And I have, let's see. Let's just use this cell. Actually, that doesn't make sense. Let's use this one. It looks interesting. Flip. You can, and you can flip this. This is, as you watch this video, you'll learn that I know a lot about Canva, but you'll have to explore. There's various things to do, and over time you'll learn. But this flip is very interesting, and it is very helpful at times when you want to flip a render. And position, you can also come over here. So you can click the image, and position is in the very top right. You can press position, and you can forward, backward, top, left, align all these. But obviously, I want to keep it on this side, and I'm just going to make him a little bit bigger so he fits on the screen. Boom. But, as you can tell, a no-text thumbnail does look pretty empty, doesn't it? So, a solution to that is you want to go to legends.dbc.space/characters. I will leave this link as well in the description. For this, let's say, for example, when it comes to this, a character doesn't really matter. You want to look for specific effects. You may have to search through these for a long time to find the effect that you're looking for, or you may find it very quickly. Let's say, I'm just going to use Jiren Full Power as an example right now. And as you come over to this tab right here, Jiren Full Power is open. You want to click this image icon. Some of them don't have this image icon, and if they don't, that means they don't have effects, so you want to move on from that. Click on this image icon, it will pop up something for you, and here you can find all these different effects, there's a lot of them, and you have a lot of characters to go through, so it's not just Jiren, remember that. If you don't find the one you're looking for, don't worry, you can find it somewhere else. Go back to your design, you can copy and paste. Canva lets you do that. You don't have to upload all of your stuff. And I can enlarge it, I can widen it like this, and let me just send this one to the back, because it might look best in the back. And boom, there's one effect right there, and it will delete the background. So when you make something that big, it will cover the background, and Canva will assume that you want to change the background, even if you don't. What you need to do for that is you just want to click undo. So when you click undo, it'll bring the background back and push that effect to the very back. Now I have a couple more effects saved over here. As you can see, I've done this a lot. So here's a yellow one that I like. I'll make it bigger. and position it backwards. Now, I don't have that much time today, so I can't exactly make the thumbnail kitted out for you. I have just shown you how to do it. So this is a no text thumbnail, pretty much. This is not the best I can do. You can probably improve a lot more on this. This is just a quick show of what you can do on Canva. Now, let's add a new page, and let's move on to the text thumbnails. Now, I will just show you an example for the text thumbnails. Now, for the text thumbnail, this is the first version. As I mentioned earlier, there's 3 different ways to do it. This is the most recent way to do thumbnails that people are growing into. This is one of the thumbnails that I've had made, and I know how to make these. What you need to do is you place your renders, and you need to go all out with the effects on this, because there doesn't need to be much room in the background unless you're commissioning a thumbnail, which most people, if you're watching this video, you don't do. So what you want to do is you want to place the renders, and you want to align them in a way that it looks good, and you want to only get the main part of your story. So the juice in your video, you want to get that, and you want to put that on your thumbnail. And then you can come over here and do the part number or part thing. The way to add text is you come over here, you add a heading, and there's a lot of fonts to choose through. A lot of fonts. One with the gold ones you can't choose, but you don't need those. If you can look over here, you see how many fonts, just how many you have access to. And there's also an effects page. Effects, I like to use a lot of the effects. So you can use lift, which makes your text pop. That doesn't really work when you have white, so you want to change the color. You can also change the color right here. I'll do white, and come to effects, you can do lift. As you can see, when I don't have lift, you can't see the text really. When I do have lift, you can see the text. I also love using neon. It makes the text pop a lot. And obviously it won't look good on white because white is white. You want to make sure you get the right colors for this, because for this color you have orange, obviously, because it goes with the theme of the thumbnail, because Goku is Ikari in this. You can also use hollow. Hollow is an effect on this. This thumbnail was made in a different software, but hollow is something you can easily use by just clicking on this and applying the thickness and changing the color, stuff like that. This one shouldn't be too hard to do. It's literally just this with a part number. And as I mentioned, there are 2 parts to doing this, so you can also, let's just use this for example, duplicate this page, and you can do the full text. So I don't know what this thumbnail could be called, but we're not going to worry about that. Instead, we'll just do like a what if Goku was born with God Key. Now, this is not going to do it, right? You can't just put that on the thumbnail. So for now, as a base cover, I'll make it lift, and I'll intensify it completely, and I'll make it white, because white is the base color. Now, what if Goku's a focal point, because the story is about Goku, so you want to make Goku a different color. I'll make him red. And I will also change the font to Anton, because for these type of thumbnails, I like that the best. So what if Goku was born? Born is another focal point of your story. So I will make born a different color, let's say pink, and then God Key is also another focal point, so I'll make that red as well. So what if Goku was born with God Key? Now we can make that bigger, but that's not where we're gonna leave it, right? We don't want this to just be one line. So I will do what if Goku was born with God Key like that, and then just to make it look a bit better, I'll make it turn, and I will make this bigger. And I will lower the line distance, the letter spacing. Sorry, not the letter spacing, the line distance, like I said. And do it like that. And then lift it to the very top. Certainly better. Now let's change this to be normal. This to be normal. And this to be normal. That way, we have a little bit of distinction. But you don't have to do that. Like sometimes in this case, where you're using a different, like a font like Anton, all of it may look better like that. And then at the bottom you want to have your part number, so I'll just say part 2. And then effect, lift, and this doesn't have to be anything fancy, just make the part, make it a bit bigger, and just put it down there. Now there's the second version of the text. Now, last but not least, the next part. This one is going to be a little bit more challenging, as you have to get the text right. This thumbnail will not look good if you don't get the text right. So come over here to elements, and once you go to elements, you'll see this cube-like thing, and you want to enlarge this cube to match the size right here, and you can change the color because black usually looks best. And what I like to do is I like rotating it, so I'll rotate it to match this, and I'll enlarge it from the side as well. and that way you have a good balance between the renders and the space where you get to put the text. Now I'll just lock it so I don't have to move it going forward. The next element that you will need is line. Now you might not have these available instantly, but you can see right under here there's lines and shapes, and you can just press on line and you can find the line. This is the line that I use. It's a little bit thicker than this one, and I mean that in a very innocent way. Look at this, compare them. The thickness is not there, so you want to use this, and you want to put this right here, align it with this, and make it bigger so it matches. And then I will move it to align it with this perfectly. Rotate a little bit if you need to. I'll typically rotate it, and then you want to change the color to white because white works perfectly with black. And for now, you can't see it, but because there isn't a background here. So let's go back and let's look at the cell background again. There's the cell games background. You can enlarge it and get the part that you want in the thumbnail, position to the very back, and lock. Now, the next part after you do these three, you need to actually get the text ready. So for the text, add a heading, and you can go to text, add a heading, like I said. You want to go to font, and I'll change it to white for now, but that won't remain the color. Now, there is many different fonts you can use, as I've showed you already. My favorite is for this thumbnail format is, I think how you pronounce it is Gagelin, or it could be something completely different. I could be butchering it. Or you can use Anton. Now, I like to use this one. It has a feel to it, and I just like it. It just comes to me more. And obviously, what if? That's what we're doing here. And we want to go to Effects and Neon. Now, you don't have to do this effects thing, but I like to do it. So I'll include this. And then, you know, just get the what if there. And boom. That's the what if. And I'll change the color to red because I like red. And what if? You have a lot of liberty when it comes to the text. You can use any font you like. Just make sure that it fills in the black. So you don't want to have all the text bunched up in the middle. You want to use different text formats. That's very important. You want to use different text boxes. So use this text box for what if. Use a separate text box for something else. Say we're talking about Goku. What if Goku was born with God Ki? What if Goku... Now I'll make Goku a different color because you don't want to have the same color over and over again. But you also want to make the colors, correspond throughout the thumbnail. So we will use red later on, but we're just not going to use red for the one right next to the one we just used it on. So we'll say, what if Goku, and this is a bit too yellow for me. What if Goku was, and I want to use a different color for was and a different color for born, because was, that's a filler word, and born, that's a main part of what we're talking about here, because he is born with God Ki. So while you can do was, and for was, I'll use, like I said, we want the colors to correspond still, but I'll use yellow for this, alright? In this situation, using this and then using this color, it works together because the one right after is going to be completely different. Which is why we're going to need to use different text boxes, because there's a weird thing where two colors, they don't work well when it's in the same text box. So you want to come here, the same thing, and at this point it's a lot of repetition, but this is the important part in a fully text thumbnail, or a text thumbnail like this one. With is a filler word, so for with, as you can see, we have the red up here. I think that this is the time where using the red again would be a good idea. So we'll do with, and obviously we want to change the font again. You want to make sure you get the right font every time. You don't want to have like 8 different fonts on the thumbnail. I think the with is just a little bit too big. And then another text, God Ki. Now God Ki, again, focal part. We want to make it a different color. So God Ki's a focal point, and as born was a focal point, and we want the colors to correspond, like I've said multiple times, because it's important. Let's just make this the same color, and add the neon effect, and add the font, and just make this bigger, and put God Ki in there. What if Goku was born with God Ki? And then the part number, it matters, so you want to have the part number in, unless it's like part 1. If it's part 1, then I recommend just moving these down and making them a little bit bigger to fill it in. But if it's like part 3 or part 4 or 5 or something like that, so I'll just use I'll use yellow because that's the filler words that we used. I'll use yellow, and then I'll use effects, neon still, I don't want to change that up, and just part 4 down here. You don't have to make this a different font. You can make it as the same font, you can make it a different one, whatever you want, alright? At that point, it really doesn't matter, but it depends on how it looks. So in the thumbnail, like compare, part 4 looks better as Gaglin, so, or however you say it, as Gaglin, so I'll just put that in there instead. And then, moving forward, there's obviously the actual renders itself. So you want to get to the renders, and for the renders, let's say we have, some renders are easier to work with than others. So for the renders, let's just say we have Cell, and we use Cell, and put Cell here. And if Goku's born with God Key, obviously at this point, he'll have Super Saiyan Blue or something like that. So let's just put Goku here. And you can resize however you like. I'll move Cell in a bit closer because I think there's room to be filled. And then comes in the Legends effects. Now obviously, you want to have the Legends effects because it still looks kind of empty back there. You don't have to. I'll emphasize that. You don't have to. In my opinion, it looks better if you do. So if you want, you can. If you don't have to. But for Cell, this color matches with Cell. This is one of the effects I got from earlier. You want to go back to the legends.dbz.space page and you want to find whatever works for you. I'll put this in here as Cells. And then maybe I'll put something in for Goku. I see I have this red one. And obviously it's not going to look good if I just make this bigger and put it here. I'll make it bigger. And I'll put it behind Goku like this. And then you want to use the position to send it to the very back. Or send it to, like, where the background isn't. So send it right behind the character, but not the background. So let's just do this. Let's make this bigger so it fills it up. And boom. That's my thumbnail right there. Obviously, it could be better. I already see Legends effects I could use differently, or Legends effects I could use in a more efficient way, but this is the text thumbnail. Now, obviously, there's a clear difference between a text thumbnail like this and a text thumbnail like this. So this, think Salad Saiyan. This is what he used to do. Think Carthu's Dojo. This is what he used to do. Both are different, and it's all about preference, whatever you like. I know I've done this style for a few of my thumbnails, and I've done this style for most of my thumbnails, and now I'm fully doing this. So, this is what I'm doing nowadays. So, yeah, there was a tutorial on the thumbnails. I hope you guys did enjoy. I hope you guys learned something. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more tutorials like this, and what if videos in general, Dragon Ball videos in general. And, yeah, have a good day. It's been your boy San, and I'll see you all next time.